the person's right, make sure, yeah, secure the person's right, promote their well-being, and make sure that their wishes are fully considered. An example of this could be a bit medical, but an example of this would be someone, for example, who has Alzheimer, who no longer can remember the things they wanted earlier on in life because their brain is not performing as well as it used to. So in this scenario, someone else who's a medical proxy, a proxy means like someone who's acting on behalf of someone else, will make decisions given what they know about the patient, given what they know they like and dislike, and what they wanted from their life. So this would be a good example of non-instructed advocacy. Peer advocacy is basically one-on-one support by trained advocates who have the similar problems or issues, like things they want to advocate for. So their goal would be to empathize with people, approach them as equals, and fight for their needs. But in this scenario, why it's different from group advocacy is, in group advocacy, it's a group of people trying to influence the public. In peer advocacy, it's still a group of people, but and they have the same need, but it's one of them approaching another one of them to try to relate to them on that issue and make sure their voices are heard. So that's sort of the difference. Finally, citizen advocacy is more on a like national scale, where you want to involve people in their local community and make sure citizens of a certain country or a town or whatever get what they want. And usually it's more long-term, and the goal of it is to improve the sense of community and empowerment for these people. So now you're asking yourself, so I can basically advocate for anything that will help my circle, myself, my country, the entire world? Basically, yes, you can advocate for anything. You don't have to be a professional. You don't have to be someone with a specific focus or political view. You can advocate for anything. There are many, many examples where you can advocate. They're endless, but here we've mentioned some of them. For example, human rights. I'm sure most of you are aware of the Black Lives Matters movement that happened last year and continues now to progress. And what, for example, happened in Palestine, all of these were breaches of human rights, and people thought that was wrong and advocated on behalf of these communities in order to make change. When we talk about education, for example, if you as a student, if you feel like your system is not serving you well, or the school has policies that doesn't work with you properly or doesn't serve you in the best way possible, you can advocate for yourself and suggest solutions to make a change. When it comes to the governments or institutions that rule the countries or the world, you can also advocate for change in policy that give people rights that they didn't have before, or allow certain things to happen that weren't there before based on your ideology. When it comes to medical diseases, you can advocate by spreading awareness about certain topics. For example, COVID-19, that's a big thing that hit us, right? So you can advocate against it. You can advocate for people who have diabetes, depression, help people understand them, help give them a sense of community. When it comes to political issues, like this can happen in the form of lobbying, getting votes for a certain candidate that you think is the correct candidate. This is you advocating for them. Vulnerable groups, like, for example, animals, like animal rights, when you try to advocate for maybe imposing some policies here in Qatar to protect animals, or people on wheelchairs, or people who have disabilities, or older people. So it honestly can be about pretty much anything. And all you have to do is have a cause and basically advocate for it. And I'm gonna give it off now to Lina to take you for the rest.
All right, everyone. Hello once again. I'm gonna share my screen. It's the same PowerPoint. So we've learned so far about what is advocacy, different types of advocacy, but then is there a way to do it? Like, how do I start advocating for the thing I care about, right? So next slide. Okay. So there are so many different ways that you can advocate for a thing you care about. And I'm going to explain all of these different ways by using one example. Let's say, for example, your school is using lots of plastic and you are against it because you care about our environment. So you decided to go to the management of your school and talk to them directly. Hey guys, we have to stop using plastic. So this is a form of direct communication. You went and spoke to them directly. The the principal of the school was like, well, okay, but why? Why do I need to stop using plastic? In this case, you have to tell him the reasons. And for you to know the reasons, you have to do research. You have to read books, maybe online research, ask the people that are prominent in this field, and basically collect information so that you can inform others about it. So you inform the principal and he's like, okay, fine, but I can't do anything about one student. I need many other people to agree with you. So that's why you said, okay, fine, I'm gonna let many students to sign a petition, okay? I'm gonna collect their signatures, go around the whole school and get their approval. Everyone else, who are you? Like, are you with me? And now you did that, but you notice that not so many people are joined. So you have to even advertise it more. You had to go to the student, the morning assemblies. You went and took the mic and told them, hey guys, plastic pollution is bad. You started putting a booth in front of your gym. People pass by, you give them the flyers, you give them papers, you tell them. So this is like public events and campaigns. Now, you should not be limited to these ways. There's so many other ways that you can try, and basically have it done so that people can learn more and that you can make an impact, right? So what is advocacy? Types of it, how? But then we didn't talk about the most important thing. Why should I advocate anyways, right? Like, what's the reason? Well, we have so many different reasons for why we advocate. First of all, there's something that you really care about. You want to make a difference about it, whether it's in home, in school, in community. So you have to speak up, right? You have a friend who also wants to speak up about this problem, is supporting it, but he can't talk about it. So you are representing your friend. You're telling him it's okay. I will talk about the thing for the both of us. If you're advocating, for example, for the environment or for other people or for anything else, you want to support them. So by advocating them, you are actually supporting them. And just like the principle from our earlier example, some people just don't know about the thing you're advocating for. So you are also educating other people about it. And finally, during your journey, you're going to find out that there's so many other people that also advocate for the thing you care about. So you're connecting with them. In the end, advocacy is not just serious business, just all about petitions and talking up. It's more about that. It's helping others, right? It's making friends. It's having fun. And in the same time, you're supporting the thing you care about. It's not a solo work. You're doing it with other people. And it's all about this work together to make a difference. Okay? So let's move on, shall we? So now we're going to talk about examples of advocates, and we're going to start from early on in history. This is going to be a history class, folks, because we're going to start talking about the time when slavery was actually legal in some states in the United States. So there was an African American by the name of Frederick Douglass, and he was living in a state where slavery was legal. He was able to escape to a state where slavery was abolished. And you know what? He could have just worn his sunglasses, went to the beach, said, hell yeah, I'm going to have a vacation. But he didn't do that. He instead started advocating for the end of slavery because he cared about the thing. He knows it's wrong and he want to talk about it. And he even worked in the Civil War. And because of all of this advocacy, slavery was abolished in the United States. So see, advocacy actually makes a difference. So now we're going to have some fun fact. So a long time ago in some country that I don't know of, okay, the government said to the old rich woman, hey guys, you have to pay us money. And the wealthy woman didn't want to pay. So what did they do? They went to Hortensia and told her, hey, can you please talk up to the government for us? In other words, can you advocate for us? And Hortensia said, okay, I'm going to do that. She went in front of the government and she started to advocate for the other woman. And she won the case. So see, advocacy works, guys. And now let's go to the modern world. Enough of history class for the people who don't like history, like me. And we're going to start talking about Palestine. Now, I'm sure if you are on any social media network that you have seen so many posts about Palestine, right? So many hashtags like Save Palestine, Save Sheikh Jarrah. And it started to become an international movement to support the Palestinian people and to raise awareness about the Palestinian cause to the international community and calling out for help, right? So that more governments, more people can help the Palestinians. Perfect? Now we've talked about old people, people in history, but what about the young ones like ourselves, right? So we have Greta Thunberg, and she started to become an advocate when she was just 15 years old. Can you believe this? She started to talk about the climate and environment. She had the strike movement because the government wasn't doing anything about climate change. And she said, no, government, we have to start doing something. Okay? And she's 18 years old now, and she's still advocating for the thing that matters to her. So she's not the only young advocate that we have nowadays. We have so many other advocates. For example, we have Malala Yousafzai. She's advocating for education. We have here Ahed Tamimi. She's advocating for the Palestinian cause against the Israeli settlements. We have Nadine Ashraf, and she's advocating for women's rights in Egypt. We have Emmanuel, a very young man who's supporting the human rights for children. We also have Muna and Mohammed Al-Kurd. Just like Ahed Tamimi, they're supporting the Palestinian cause and fighting against the Israeli settlement. And we have a very young advocate, Mariam Amjani. I don't remember her age exactly, but she's really young and she's advocating for children's rights. We have Jenna Jihad, and she's also in Palestine. In fact, she's the cousin of Ahed Tamimi, and she wants to become a journalist. So she speaks more about the Palestinian cause and to raise awareness for it. Finally, we have Ines Youssef. She's from Sudan, and she's advocating rights for the deaf people in her community. So as you can see, there's no, advocacy does not know gender or age or anything. Anyone can become an advocate as long as you care about it and as long as you have a voice, speak up and advocate for the thing that you really care about. So are you guys ready? We're gonna start right now with Ferdos.
Okay, so hi guys. Do you mind to continue sharing, please?
Okay. Share a screen. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so we've already talked about what is advocacy and why is it important, but then now we're going to talk about how do we do it? So what does it take for you to become an advocate? Okay, can I have the second slide, please? So there are some certain steps that can act more as a guide to guide us towards becoming effective advocates in our community. The first thing that we need to do is to find our passion. Now, what is your passion? Your passion is what inspires you, what fuels you to want to make a change, okay? So in other words, it's your purpose. It's the answer to your why do you want to do this? And typically the passion stems from personal experiences, whether it's something that you have personally experienced or it's something that you've seen other people experience. The second step that you need to take is you need to stay informed. Okay, so you need to increase your knowledge about the topic and you need to know more about what's going on because knowledge here is the foundation to advocacy. You have to stay updated with what's going on. For instance, we already gave an example of human rights movement. So let's say there's a current human rights movement going on and you have to check the news or a social media feed, whatever it is, to make sure that you are updated with all the information. Maybe there's a new hashtag to use that you can use in your advocacy, or maybe there's a new topic that just happened and you need to advocate for it. So advocacy, staying informed is very, very important. It answers the what, okay? So what is it that I need to know? And another important point here in staying informed is you wanna learn about what the opposing party is saying or what they're doing. By opposing party, I mean people that are against your cause. They are disagreeing with what you're advocating for. So by knowing what their plan is or what they're talking about, what they're doing, you are able to plan ahead. You will know how to debate with them. And in another way, you can also highlight the importance of your message. Okay, second slide, please. All right, now that we already understand, we have good knowledge, we have our passion, what we need to find now is our style, okay? So your style, we mentioned earlier, there's certain ways that or methods that you can advocate, whether it be direct communication, you go and talk to people, whether it's signing petitions, what is your style? How are you going to go about this? Your style here will indicate the type of advocate that you want to be. So it's really important that you find the style that suits you best, that fits your personality best. Okay, so for instance, you're a person that's really good at writing, you're talented. You can use that to your advantage. You can create a blog, for instance, and write. Or maybe you're someone who's very artistic, right? You can use your art as your voice. You can draw paintings, you can do whatever it is to help you advocate and use your voice. The fourth step is getting involved. Okay, so you want to meet with other people, whether it's people in your community, people who are like your classmates, or even your friends, right? There are people who will then form a circle. And it's very important because the more people you have in your circle, the wider your message can be spread, right? And another thing is that by working with other people, you get to learn about yourself and who you are as a person. And you get to have fun and make friends along the way. So it's very important step over here. Okay, can we go to the second slide? And I'll be reading questions towards the end of this. Okay, so you have everything that you need, all the basic steps you need right now. All that's left for you to do is to create an action plan. Now, what is your action plan? Basically, they are a set of, can you go back, please? Sorry. They are a set of points or tasks that you want to tackle, that you want to complete, okay? So basically, you will have task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4. And what's important here, and I cannot emphasize more on this, is a timeline. You need to set a timeline. What I mean by that is you have action point A, or task A needs to be done at this time. Action point B needs to be done at that time. And the importance of a timeline here is that it helps you stay focused, and also it helps you achieve your goal by the time that you want to actually achieve it. Now, we mentioned earlier that you're going to have the circle of people helping you, a circle of friends helping you. Having an action plan can be very helpful because you can start distributing tasks between those people. So over here, you can also use people skills. Let's say you want to have a campaign, and in your campaign, you want to create a poster. Now, you can see which one out of your team members is super talented with design. So you can assign that task to that person by ensuring that you include a timeline saying to them, hey, I need this done by that time, right? So this is how you create your action plan. Now that you have everything set, all that you need is your voice. And it's very important to remember that your voice is your strongest tool out of all, okay? So use it, speak up, and fight for what you believe in. Okay, second slide, please. All right, so I mentioned earlier that you're gonna have a circle of friends that you're working with. However, you need to have a successful structure within that team that ensures that you're communicating in a very effective way and you're actually reaching your goal. So what composes or what creates the structure? There's 7 steps. The first thing is social ties. And what I mean by social ties is they are activities that bring people together, your team members together. So it could be you guys go out for dinner together as a team, or you guys go play bowling together, laser tag, whatever it may be. It's an activity that gathers you, that brings you together, help you get to know one another, and improve the communication, trust, and teamwork between you. Okay, so the second thing is your ways of communication. You all collectively as a team need to agree on how you want to communicate and move forward. Okay, so what I mean by that is you decide on whether you want to have one-on-one meetings or one-to-many meetings or many meetings. For instance, for one-on-one, maybe you can have one person responsible of something and a team leader, and they can meet together. If it's one-to-many, you can have one leader and a subgroup in that team that's working, a group that's working on something together, meeting with the leader. And then many, it could be everyone meeting together, or it could be the team leaders meeting together. Another thing important in communication, you agree on whether you want to have online meetings or in-person meetings, which is very important right now because of the COVID situation. And a third thing is you agree on whether you want to have a group chat, for instance. Where do you want to have this group chat? Do you want to have any guidelines for the team members on how to communicate in a way that's respectful to one another, and so on. So another thing is to have a common language. And what I mean is that you all need to be informed about specific terms that are related to your movement. Like I said, maybe it's a hashtag or something that people are using right now. So everyone needs to be informed about what's going on. The fourth thing is having shared resources. So you're all different people coming together. Each person is going to bring in something special with them. So these special things are resources, right? So other than the talents I had mentioned earlier, maybe you can maybe some of you have worked with different organizers in the past, so you guys can exchange contact information with these organizers, and then you're helping your team reach out to them, and in a way you're helping spread your message. You can also have a common email list, so you go gathering people's emails who are agreeing with you, for instance, and then you can send out information to those people. So you all have one common email list. And finally, a Google Drive. Google Drive is an excellent way, excellent way of having a shared resources, because everyone has access to the same documents that are being shared across the team. All right. So another important thing is to have a vision. So all of you as a team need to be working towards the exact same vision. And what a vision is, it's your ultimate dream. It's what you're fighting for, right? So you all need to be working towards that collectively. Now you're gonna have some team members who are gonna act as the actors, and who the actors are. They are basically individuals who will be responsible for ensuring that you have enough resources. They will be managing the messaging between the team and so on. Now, you must be able to identify who the actors are in your team, because if you don't, soon you're going to have shortage of fresh ideas. You're going to have shortage of problem solving abilities. So actors play a very important role along with everyone else in the team. And finally, feedback. Your team must be able to retain or gather the feedback and use the information you've gained to improve your team work ethic, to improve your way of delivering your message. Now, what's important is that you shouldn't take it personally. Okay, so sometimes you might get feedback that you don't really like we've seen it in our organization, right? You maybe deliver a session in a way that not everyone agrees with. Don't take that personally. Don't get discouraged by it. Instead, use it to improve, right? So what can I do to help me deliver this session in a better way that people would like more, or that would help me deliver my message in a better way? Okay, so by using the feedback, you can really create a stronger and a more improved work ethic that will help you get to your goal. All right, and that is all. I will read your questions.
So actually, for those, do you want to have them say their questions? Because they had really interesting questions.
Yeah, you guys can raise your hands and or type in the chat, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay, I think Aima. All right. Yes, Aima.
Miss, what subjects would be specifically needed for advocacy?
What subjects?
Yeah, like when you got to pick and choose at that point.
I think that a person should advocate for the thing they care about, something that they saw and they want to change. So it's not about, oh, what subject should I pick about? It could be about anything that you care about, right? I give an example about plastic pollution because I care about that. So think about what you're passionate about, what you want to change, and start from there.
So someone in the chat asked, what's your take and advice to young folks who use advocacy in different strata for prestige, grandstanding, and status about the course they've embarked on? Will they not become extinct in the near future? Hopefully. So Lina, would you like to say what you thought about that?
Okay, so let's be real, guys. Advocacy is not easy. It requires lots of hard work. It requires passion. And if a person uses advocacy as a tool for gaining prestige, it means he does not have the passion or the drive. So give it a week, give it 2 weeks, he'll be bored and he can't continue his advocacy journey anyways. So if you ever want to be an advocate, as I mentioned earlier, pick something that you care about, or else you're just gonna get bored.
It requires vocal skills, as in you need to speak up, or like I said, and I think Aya mentioned it too, there's very different ways for you to advocate, right? It doesn't need to be literally using your voice and speaking up. You can write, like I said, you can paint. Maybe you can even just create like activities. If you're fighting for uniting people together, you can create events that bring those people together. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use your voice. You can, a lot of people use Twitter, for instance, as a means of advocacy nowadays. You see people tweeting, so they are using their voice, but indirectly.
And also remember, the Palestinian cause so many advocates on their social media. So it does not have to be anything that you say out loud. And there are some people that actually use their talents for advocating. I know someone who used like plastic bottles and made the sculpture out of it just to say stop using, like stop polluting and stuff. So you can also think about talents that you like and use it.
So someone asked, let's say I have a passion for human rights and I have everything.
I was gonna say, do you want to take the question they just sent?
Oh, sure. But the thing is, not many people would join me or agree with me. How would you convince them to join? So the thing is, that's the goal of being an advocate, right? To get more people on your side. So you have to be creative. You have to find maybe common grounds in other things to get closer to people, to make your network bigger. And then once they trust you as a person, or they like you and they spend more time with you, I'm talking like literally in the sense of getting to like direct communication with people, then they would be maybe more open-minded about hearing your the things you're passionate about. So I think you can advocate just by being a role model. You don't need to have everyone on your side. Just you acting out based on what you believe in could be enough, if that's all you can do, you know. You don't have to have everyone agree with you. You don't have to have everyone on your side. You do your best, and that's all you can do, honestly. Like yeah. So I don't know, for those, Orlina, if you want to add anything.
Okay, so honestly, like if I were to advocate for something I care about, first I would see the people close to me, right? School friends, school classmates, neighborhood kids, whoever you can meet. If that does not work out for you, then you can use your social media, use hashtags. Do not have your account as private so many more people can use it. You can use even other social media, what's it called? Social media applications like Reddit, for example. If that does not work out, you can have a mini booth somewhere, of course, after you taking the approval from that place. And then you can start promoting it. Flyers, banners, whatever. Be creative, okay, guys? You don't have to just think, oh, should I just go to my friends? There are more people in this world. How many people do we have now in the world? Does anyone know an approximate number?
7.5 billion.
Yeah, I think we're hitting like the 8 billion plus, maybe, I don't know.
Overpopulation. That's an advocacy topic as well.
7.7, yeah.
All right, so you have around 8 billion people. Go get them.
I'm sure a good portion of them will agree with you. I really like this question. How do we transform advocacy under the I to the we, they, and ours factor? And I think both Aya and Dina just touched on that. Like I said, one of the main steps for you to build or to reach the goal that you want is to have a group of people on your side. There's really so many different ways that you can do that. One of the ways that we do it, for instance, at our organization, is we have recruitment days. And what recruitment days are is we set up a table, or right now it's online, and we tell people everything they need to know about our organization, right? What is our goal? What do we do? Who are the people involved in it? What do we fight for? And then people are interested, they're listening, they're like, okay, this is something that I can agree with. And then they come and join you along the way because they have the same mindset as you. So that's really all that it is. You just find people with similar mindsets and you create this huge network. And of course, you use those communication structure tools that I showed you by having social ties and all that. Those will guarantee that you will have this network of people supporting you.
So our last question before we move on to the activity, Farah asked, once you start advocating, say for example, launching a campaign, how do you promote it and make your voice heard and make people join your cause? I think that's basically what we do, right? It's always a struggle. It's not easy, honestly. And what we can say is, if you have a campaign and you're really passionate about it, what we found was very effective is collaborations. So you find another organization with a different set of target group that shares your values, and you do the campaigns together. So that way you involve both your both your target audiences. Other ways would be to maybe involve people from the government, so you get more advertisement. You can promote your social media accounts, add people who you think are more in your within your target group, or like the people you want to reach out to. Honestly, it's a work in progress. We try every day to get our campaigns to reach more people, but it's a struggle, and you always have to come up with new ideas and be creative, have fun themes, have things that attract people to your campaigns, in order to get more people on your side. Yeah, great questions, guys. Mashallah, really awesome questions.
I'll tell you the power to all campaigns, hashtags, literally. Have a great hashtag and use that, and then ask people to use that hashtag when they're posting about something related to your campaign. That way, the message just spreads louder. And that's how we learn about other campaigns as well. Like with the Black Lives Matter movement, with the Palestinian movement, you see the hashtags are very, very powerful.
Okay, so right now we're gonna go into two groups, and we're gonna do the activity that we mentioned at the end, and this will be your chance to actually apply what we discussed. So Natalie, if you could please just divide them into, so we are at 130 now, so we need like 50 in one group and maybe 80 in the other group. Is that okay, Lina?
All right, so I'm gonna create 2 breakout rooms assigned automatically, okay? So create and open all rooms. And let's hope the facilitators aren't actually divided into those rooms.
You can check by clicking on the breakout room.
Yeah, I'm looking.
I'm in room
So
2.
for those you're assigned into which room?
1 right now.
I need
1.
to be in,
Okay, so I want to be in 1?
yeah.
Okay. Let's
It's
go.
divided like 2/3, Lina.
We get to select the percentage. I think it's a 50-50% thing. Like, I don't think you can select, right?
Will there be participants in this main room or just in the breakout rooms?
No, just in the breakout rooms.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so you're supposed to be in room 1 now. Did you get the notification?
Yeah.
Perfect. And then let me see where I am. Oh, there's some people that are unassigned. I'm going to assign them randomly to 1 and 2. And then where am I? Oh, I can just join any room, right? Okay. Okay, let's go to our rooms. Join.
How do I join my room? Wait, I don't know what happened. Okay, I'm not quite sure. Give me a sec. Something's wrong with my Natalie, can you move me to room 1? Never mind. Actually, I fixed it. Thank you.
Yeah, so everyone else still here, just make sure you join your assigned room so that we can start the activity there. Okay, we're just gonna wait for a few seconds for everyone to rejoin our main room. Alina, just checking, do the other people in the other Zoom have the link to rejoin this one?
I am sure that they have the link, but if they don't, I'll send it to them right now.
Okay, sure.
So guys, just because we didn't get to wrap up in our room, just feel free to follow us for opportunities that you can participate in on Instagram, QMSA_Qatar. And if you have any questions about our organization, we can also answer them there.
All right, wonderful. Thank you guys so much for that wonderful workshop, Miss Nassar, Miss Abashir, Miss Nazar, Miss